show versus scan off a mobile phone. A lot of it's pre-shop consideration or pre-purchase consideration to get an offer into the hands of a consumer who may be a likely shopper before they walk into the store. So it's a traffic driver versus something that's done within the four walls of the store.
And if you can say who are some of your clients, or if you can say, that's great if you can.
Sure. A couple of our clients that are using sort of various digital channels to drive to a mobile coupon that is trackable by our software application into a retail store, and redemption is a company like Staples, Sears, Kmart, and Walgreens.
Okay. Jason, any comments? Because you basically just went through the season with Macy's and yeah.
Sure, yeah. On what specifically? Just all of the above?
Yeah, I mean, all the above.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what I think is trending up right now, which is in-store, mobile marketing, because our retailers tend to be, larger format stores. So we have Staples, Home Depot, and Macy's. So obviously, I think with Home Depot, nearly every campaign that we do has some location element to it. I think what we're seeing though is, aside from going inside the store, right, and all the Bluetooth puck stuff and, everything that iBeacon sort of, drummed up and all the misunderstandings there, that were actually drove a lot of demand and interest, I think, but a lot of misunderstanding as well. But then that leads into Nomi and Euclid and Nearby and Swarm, and you start to actually get some people lean into the conversation and address some of the issues that were talked about just a few minutes ago, right, that they were, previously not, all that educated about. So, but aside from that, it's more about, a lot of solving for attribution, right? So really closing the loop and eliminating the guesswork, because what a lot of this becomes is, not so much, solutions and services anymore, but more like tools and relationships extended to the consumer, right? So the future of marketing and advertising, I very much believe, is about, consumer-managed relationships and long-term relationships, and not campaigns, but actually, one-to-one, long-term relationships, period, right? And everyone out there has a job to do, right, today, right? The difference now is that, it's sort of a DIY maker culture, so you're seeing, consumers actually want to do things, right, and have the tools to do them. Instagram's a good example where that's a tool, right, that you use. You create the product, and then Instagram goes back and sells you to a brand advertiser by putting advertising on the product you created, right? So there's a lot of issues there, right? The model needs to be flipped, in my opinion, but I really do believe that, it's first going to be the attribution solve and a lot of the database matching, for one, which is going to take a little while. But I think we're beyond some of this fear, right? So what I hear a lot in the room is a lot of fear, and I think that if you were to look at what's been happening with Google for years, right? I mean, your mail is essentially just think about the implications of some of these things. I would rather get a coupon from a retailer that I was in the day before, right, than understand exactly what the implications are of Shazam listening to me all the time, right, with passive tagging and things like that. So you can spin these stories out of control and drive yourself nuts if you like, but at the end of the day, if you create a more valuable and compelling advertising product, then you have nothing to worry about, right? I think we're all ashamed of what we do in many cases, so we're always trying to hide it, but there's guys out there like Brian Wong from Keep who have people raising their hands saying, hey, opt me in because I love your product, right? So I think we need to actually work a little harder to create more scarce experiences, like we said earlier, rather than trying to hide terms and conditions and, implied endorsements and all of that shit that comes along with it, right? So.